more successful I've become, the less that men seem to want to date me.
Because you start to put yourself in a selective dating pool, and I'm not making this video to say you should lower your standards. It's a fact that women want a man that's doing better than them. Well, ladies, if you're in that 1%, you're doing really well for yourself. Congratulations, by the way. Now, your expectations on what that man has to provide and or bring to the table is going to rise. Now, I'm not saying this, like I said, to bring down your standards, but you have to understand you want bigger and better. Not every man is going to be able to meet those needs. And this is going to be the difference between men and women, because a man can be making $1 million a year, and he's going to be perfectly fine dating a woman that only makes $60,000 a year. And I believe it's in your biological nature. Y'all can say you don't care how much a man makes, but if you want to go somewhere, like you want to go on let's say a $5,000 vacation, and you have to pay for all of it, most women are going to side-eye their man, and it's going to become an unattractive thing, because she's like, well, if I have to pay for everything, if I have to pay for the vacation, what does this man bring into my life? I might as well go get someone that's better, who can at least go half on this vacation with me.
Welcome back, guys. How are you guys doing? Thank you for tuning in. Let's jump right into this one. How are you guys doing? First of all, I bet y'all doing good. This is another good one. The men are speaking up. The men are speaking up, telling us why they do not want their women to be making more money than them. Y'all have me right? Now, they want to tell us they do not want their women to make more money than them. Yeah, remember back in the days when this phrase used to go like, what do you bring to the table? And the woman got to like stand up and say, I am the table. Yeah, remember that phrase? Yeah. Now, the men do not want the women to even bring their pocket, their bank to be heavy to the table. Not all men, some men. And also, yeah, I remember back in the days when our grandmoms, our mom, when they were not given any opportunity to be able to afford, to buy things for themselves. The only way they can do that is they have to marry, right? And these gave all the men, the opportunity to feel like a man. Y'all gonna be learning. Y'all gonna hear all of these in these clips. Like some men are now jealous that their women can afford some things without their help. You know what? Let's just have a say and let's watch this together. The men and the women, they are reacting to this. Let's roll it.
By a female CEO.
I'm pretty sure they don't care.
I'm turned on when a woman's vulnerable, when a woman's soft.
You mean when they're easy to control?
You know what makes men really excited about women? When they can take care of you, when they can love you and honor you.
Mommy issues?
And not compete with you. Not have this sense that she's strong and independent, she don't need me.
There's nothing wrong with a little healthy competition, even in a relationship, unless you're deathly afraid of feeling emasculated.
Women are on more depressed medications, pills, and therapy than they've ever been. Why? Because the natural order has been shirked and you've been given a bullshit lie to believe that working for a stranger at some corporation and calling him boss is more noble than serving your husband, serving your family.
Ooh, there's a lot to unpack with this one. That's not just women, my dude. That's everybody. However, I'm pretty sure a woman CEO would be the boss and not work for him. It's okay to just say you're scared of successful women. Or are you just scared of all women in general?
Women are associators. They're egalitarian. They're relational oriented. So, to really get the most, the max out of what you're built to do, find a husband. Get married. Make babies.
How the is this dude going to use a word like egalitarian? Relating to or believing in the principle that all people are created equal and deserve equal rights and opportunities. Like a woman CEO? What the actual fuck? No one gives a shit what turns you on, bro. The world does not revolve around you and what you want from women. Because women can do whatever they want. They can run a company. Or they can run a household. But that's if they want to. But it's painfully obvious realize from your content that none of them want to do any of those things with you. Have a terrible day.
Unpopular opinion, men get so jealous when they see women in their field winning. Let's talk about it. Hi guys, I'm Libba Lion, the voice of marketing, your friend in all things marketing, brand building, business mindset, and sometimes pop culture. I know so many people are going to be upset about this conversation, and they're going to start with things like, not all men, we know this by now. Nothing is everybody. So the men who do this are the men I'm talking about, and it tends to be a lot of them, right? And as a girl who used to think that having male friends is easy and that men will support you, I grew up with that very toxic mentality. I can tell you from first-hand experience that a lot of guys cannot handle it when women in their field win. I'm a girl who likes to put herself on the edge. I like to try and test new things. And a lot of the time I do win, even though I lose a lot as well. And what I found is that the men around me will undermine what I'm doing. And then when they see me winning, they go, maybe it's luck. Then when they see it really, really working, they start to go, actually, I should be doing that. And you can see it in their eyes, guys. You can see men envying you and being jealous of your abilities in their eyes. I'll give you a very basic example of what this looks like. So I remember once I was meeting up with a couple of guys that I knew, and I thought they're successful in their own right. So, I'm thinking we're equals at the table. And I came with one of my designer bags because I love designer bags and I buy them for myself once in a while. So I'm sitting there on my own, waiting for everybody to come. My designer bag is sitting with me. I've got my shades on. I'm looking cute. I'm a very happy chappy. And the one guy comes. He looks at me, gives me this very snux look. Then he looks at my bag and then he goes, oh, we've got money, don't we? And like something in me just went, what does that even mean? Like, why are you making that statement when we've been chilling together for so long? And why are you looking at my things in that way? That makes no sense when you have your own things, right? So when the bill eventually came, this guy specifically said, no, Lebu, you'll pay for me since you've got so much money. And I remember thinking to myself, that makes absolutely no sense. And I have never spoken about anything that I have. I just came with a designer bag. I came with my designer shades. And I'm there living my best life with my own money. And I realized that the look that I'd seen in his eyes when he arrived was a look of envy. Even though he's got his own things, it was the idea that I might have more than him that made him want to belittle me in public. So a lot of the time when people are intimidated, especially if you're a woman, by what they think you have, they will try to do stupid things like, oh, then maybe you should pay the bill. Then maybe you should do this. You take on the responsibilities. It's a way of them punishing you for making them feel bad about what they think they don't have. That time, you don't talk about what you have. You don't talk about how much you're making. You don't talk about your material possessions. You're just there being a person who's very proud of themselves and you're living your life very quietly. Right? So I started to see that kind of behavior in a lot of spaces where I was with men. He specifically said, no, Lebu, you'll pay for me since you've got so much money. And I remember thinking to myself, that makes absolutely no sense. And I have never spoken about anything that I have. I just came with a designer bag. I came with my designer shades. And I'm there living my best life with my own money. And specifically said, no, Lebu, you'll pay for me since you've got so much money. And I remember thinking to myself, that makes absolutely no sense. And I have never spoken about anything that I have. I just came with a designer bag. I came with my designer shades. And I'm there living my own issues with each other. But right now in this conversation, I'm specifically speaking about men. And so what this specific guy did was he basically copied everything that I do. And tried to do what I'm doing and to show me that he can do it better. The sad part is he's the only one in competition because I'm not in competition with anyone else but myself, right? And I found that over the years, I lost a lot of guys who I thought were my friends because they were actually envious of my ability to fight for myself and get things done for myself and then reward myself for getting things done. Right? So, yes, we see people always saying, oh, women are gold diggers, women are not meant to do everything. But guys, even when you do your own thing, a lot of times men cannot handle it. They want you to do your own thing, but not more than what they can do for you. And they even make assumptions about what you have. They don't have the humility to ask you, even though it's none of their business. At least they could ask. But the idea that you can buy yourself a drink or buy yourself a car, or buy yourself a house, or take care of yourself really rubs them up the wrong way. They almost want to feel like they have power over you, even when they are not dating you, even when you guys are in the same industry. So what you will see is that men in your industry will come together just to compete against you as one woman, because your existence threatens what they'd like to see in the world of men winning. Because for them, winning is only reserved for men, not for women. And so that's why you even see with these podcast collaborations and that kind of thing, most of the time, the men are collaborating with each other. The men are the ones who will also call each other on the radio shows and the TV shows, everything. Men together. They feel no reason to be diverse. They feel no reason to really include people. And when they do, it's not at the same level and respect and stature that they would another man. So ladies, be careful. Be careful of who you show your success to. Be careful of who you allow to speak to you in certain ways. And when somebody does what that guy did and says, you pay for the bill, you say no, very firmly. So he understands that he can never belittle you or make you feel bad for achieving what you worked very, very hard for. Then he needs to respect you or piss off. That's literally it. Respect or go away. Let me know if you've experienced this as a woman and what you've done to deal with it. As a man, if you've seen it happen, what have you done to protect the women around you or to kuza the guys around you and just to say to them, don't do that, that's not okay. Let's talk about it.
But I want a man that's like a masculine man, but I want to be bad. Well, masculine men don't want you. No dude that's a freaking alpha male wants some chick that goes around thinking she's a bad bitch. It's not interesting to us. I don't care about how much money you make. I don't care what your friend group is. I don't care what your social media status is. None of that is even remotely attractive to me. I want a woman that's going to support me. I want a woman that wants to build a life with me, wants to be a mom, wants to be traditional. This is why women are getting ran through. And men won't settle down with them, because this is the playing field you gave us. Oh, you're going to be a bad bitch? I ain't going to work with you. I'm not going to do that. So now you're just going to have dudes run through you because you're hot, and you're going to just be getting left by good quality guys. So you're going to have to settle with a dude because your body count's through the roof now. And girls don't care what a guy's body count is, but guys care what a girl's body count is. You're just going to get ran through for the rest of your life. And then you're going to eventually have to settle down with a B-grade dude, because as hot as you were, you weren't really that attractive to good quality guys.
Posted a video asking men what they found unattractive about successful women, if it's not intimidation. And I got an overwhelming response from people in my DMs, and I wanted to share with you what the overall sentiment was from both men and women. A lot of men said it's not that successful women are intimidating, but it's that they tend to be more masculine, that they are more aggressive, confrontational, and stressed from work, and then they bring that home with them, and so that they're less fun and less joyful, and therefore less feminine. A big thing that a lot of men said was that successful women are disrespectful, and that they don't care if their woman makes more money than them, but they still want the respect of someone who does. A lot of women, on the other hand, actually agreed that they found it easier to find potential matches when they were making less money, and that the more successful they became in their careers, the less dating options that they had. Not because they weren't trying to date, but because men were less interested in them when they were making more money. One thing that I heard from both men and women is that it's not about financial success, and it's more about gender roles and how it's evolving. Women say that they are okay with dating a man who makes less than she does, so long as he's willing to pick up the slack in other ways.
When women earn more, they leave men, but they don't realize why. There's actually studies to show that when men are with women that earn more than them, they produce more cortisol. They're actually more angry and stressed around her, and that obviously has a negative impact on their testosterone, so they're actually less sexually attracted to her, and so they're meaner to her. They're mean, and also they don't treat her the same way. If a man is dating a woman who knows is unemployed, say if he's on £20,000 a year, he'll still use whatever he has to treat her well, like, look after her. But if he's on £20,000 a year and she's on 50,000, he'll use nothing to invest in her. Now, women don't need your money, but they do need your investment, because that's how men fall in love. The more they invest in something, the more they attach to it. If they invest a lot of money in a car, they really care about it. Lost a lot of money into a Bitcoin, they want to see it go up. Invest money into a woman, they want to see it work out. So when they are with a woman that earns more, they invest so little, so walking away seems so easy for them, and it seems so hard for her because she's been the one that's investing in them. So it's very difficult. It's not just the woman who's rich and now she leaves you. The man no longer adds any value. That is the main issue. to. He doesn't use whatever tiny resources he has on the woman like he normally would.
That keep telling the world all of their insecurities. Like, it's incredibly clear that a lot of men do not feel worthy of the women they want to be with, and they get jealous of women that are more successful than they are. Like, instead of investing in themselves, in their own education, in their own career development, they'll just tell you, oh, well, you're too masculine because you can afford to buy things for yourself because you're an adult who can, like, financially take care of herself. Like, apparently that's what makes you masculine. It's honestly just super pathetic. It's like, instead of complaining about other people who have more success than you do, focus on yourself. Focus on being the best version of yourself that you can be and making yourself a better option to the women that you're interested in. Being a badass is not a masculine trait. Anybody can be a badass and a boss.
Stop listening to these dating coaches and these people calling themselves that are spreading the crazy, ridiculous, outdated message that men don't want successful women. It is not true, guys. This is an old rhetoric that has been pushed around from people who are insecure and don't feel good enough to have a woman on their arm that is their match. We have lots of evidence in the world where there are powerful couples and men who are secure and confident love the fact that their woman has a life outside of being their wife or girlfriend or whatever. So don't listen to these people that are spreading this old, antiquated message because it's bullshit. We didn't have rights. We were considered as property. And this is new since the last 100 years, maybe a little bit longer, that in my country, women were allowed to have their own life. So let's manifest the reality we want.
Credit to the creators for giving us the opportunities to add our comment to this. Y'all know y'all can add your comment, right? Down there in the comment section. Let's just respect yourselves while we do so. I really love how this lady finished her statement. Like, y'all gotta be the one to manifest how you want your future to be. I love it. I love that. And we have to ask ourselves, we know some men can be too much. We know that. Just like the lady that came out and said she had a date just simply because she took her designer bag looking fly, Digger had a problem. So for sure, we know some men, they just can be too much. But the question is it like the men are really jealous? Or they miss their responsibilities of being the provider to their women, to their family. Y'all know back in the days, our mothers and our grandmothers, they were given limited, access to a lot of things. So the only way they can have access to things is just by them settling down. And then our fathers, our grandfathers used to be a provider. You know what I mean? So can we say the men, they look up to their fathers, their grandfathers to be the providers, and they want to be the providers as well? Boy, they are forgetting the fact that the time has changed. Now our grandmothers, our mothers, their daughters are now the CEOs. They are now the boss ladies that they can afford a lot of things. They can be mothers and they can be a wife and they can be a CEO. You know what I mean? So is it that they are really jealous or they are missing that big responsibilities for them to be a provider to their family? This is deep. How do you guys say this? I'm gonna leave y'all with the next clip. This next clip is powerful. I really want y'all to listen to it. I'm going to catch up with you guys in the next one. Thank you to all my return subscribers. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe because on this channel, we are learning. Bye for now.
A man who can't lead will always be frustrated by a strong woman. A man who can't lead will always be aggravated by someone who doesn't just kowtow to him just because he is a man. And we are, first of all, we're human beings. You're a thinking human being. All of us are autonomous. You don't go to work and think that someone should kowtow to you or someone should do, but you treat women this way, right? And what happens, every single one of those situations, a man exposes himself as not a leader. Why is she not submitting to me?
What is she submitting to? Let's start asking questions. Are you leading? Where are you leading? What are you leading? What is your mission statement for yourself? Not that you have to have one, but where do you see yourself going at? What is your mission statement as a husband? What is your job as a husband? Well, I'm supposed to be
The leader, the head.
No, so many want to be Christ, like Christ is to the church, but really what they want to be is God. And so what they want to do is develop hells when they really should be sacrificing themselves for their wives until she is healed. You see what I'm saying? Now, not whole sacrifices. I know a lot of people's going to see that and cringe and think that, well, the man does all the work. No, the man does all the work first. That's what leaders do. Leaders take the most arrows in the back. Leaders trailblaze. Leaders go first. And so if you want something out of your woman, you show her. You exemplify that. You let her follow you. When she doesn't follow, that's when you have a problem. And you say, well, if you want to go right, I'm going to go